Living abroad while being isolated and lonely is actually a privilege, in my opinion. A lot of us get lonely after moving to a new country is because it's completely different compared to India and other South Asian countries, right? And you might think that I'm sitting in my dark room, maybe I'm going through something. But actually, I'm very happy and fulfilled, and I'm feeling great while living here as an immigrant. But this is where a lot of people also get lonely and isolated, or maybe depressed too, and that feeling is really painful. And I'm not gonna lie, I used to feel that too when I came to Canada. Like after few years of getting my permanent residency, I started working a full-time job. And on weekends, I would hang out with my friends. But after coming back home on weekdays from my work, I would sit in my room and scroll on my phone for half an hour. And then I would kinda feel lonely and isolated. And that feeling was horrible. Like some days I used to feel that I made a wrong decision to immigrate to Canada. The reason why I used to feel that way is because it was very different in here, right? Like in India, you always hang out with other people. You go out to dinner, you celebrate festivals together, you always have someone to talk to, right? But here it's very different. The culture is different, everybody is busy, people don't have time to spend with you. Even if they're living in the same apartment or building, they don't really get time to hang out with you, right? You are always inside of your room in your free time, just spending time by yourself. So you kinda get used to it, but some people cannot, and I could not at first. And that was a problem. It was a really bad and horrible feeling of being lonely and isolated. But the good thing is, luckily I was able to switch it the other way around. Being lonely and isolated literally changed my life. This is a privilege for us immigrants to get lonely and isolated because that's where all the growth happens and that's where your life really starts to change. And honestly, a lot of people might not agree with me, but it's more of a mindset shift. It's not really about being lonely and isolated, living in a foreign country. It's more about your state of mind, like what you think, what your belief system is, and what your goals are in your life. That's the thing with me. When I was lonely and isolated, I was working full time in Canada. Like I had no routine, I had no structure. I literally did not know what I wanted to do in life. I was just going through the motions, like going to work, coming back home, scrolling on my phone, watching Netflix and YouTube, and then going back to sleep, and then repeating that cycle over and over again. On weekends, I would hang out with my friends, but my friends couldn't be with me all the time because they had their own jobs and lives, right? So I would end up spending time by myself, alone in my room, and that's where the loneliness really hits hard. The main problem was that I did not have anything going in my life, like I did not have any goals. I was not consistent with my workouts, with my gym. I did not have any personal development routine. I did not have any good habits. I wasn't working on any skills that could help me improve at my job or in my life, right? But as soon as I started learning more about myself, like taking gym seriously, getting fit, understanding my deficits, and figuring out what was really holding me back, that's where I started rewire my mindset, and that's where everything kind of changed. Like I built a routine. I started going to the gym early in the mornings, like before work, and after work I would come home, I would learn something, right? Then I would make healthy meals, I would call my family back home, and I would do something productive that was, helping me to become a better version of myself. And that's where I realized it was more of a my problem, not the country's problem. Like we came here for a reason, and there are always going to be two sides to the equation, right? You get a better lifestyle, but you also face challenges. So it's not fair to always complain. And that was the mindset that I needed. And I'm sure if you are watching this, there's something that you can work on in your life. Once you start doing that, everything is going to change. Like your mindset is going to change, that feeling of loneliness and isolation is going to fade away, and you will become more aligned with your life. Sure, sometimes you are still going to feel homesick, but that's totally fine. It's not a problem. It's just a reminder to stay humble and rooted. So, lesson of the story, you have to find something that you can work on in your free time. It could be fitness. It could be going all out with your fitness goals. It could be being consistent with your workouts. It could be learning a new skill. It could be building a new routine, right? It could be anything that can help you move forward, and you can be busy in your free time, right? At the same time, you can improve your life. Once you start doing that, I promise your life will get aligned and you will start loving your life and you will be happier all the time. You won't have any kind of loneliness or isolation thoughts, right? Your mindset will rewire. All right, so that's all I have for you today, and I will see you next time.